A meeting to discuss ways to defend freedom of the press around the world begins today in Eastern Europe. The third global conference for media freedom is beginning and being held in Estonia. It seeks to strengthen freedom of speech and safety for journalists around the world. The gathering features representatives around 46 countries. Our next guest is among those seeking to defend these important freedoms. Joining us now from Rome is Christopher Trott, Great Britain's ambassador to the Holy See. Mr. Ambassador, great to see you. Thank you so much for your time today. Can you tell us more about the conference and how your embassy is involved?
Well, it's a sort of global conference, so it's not just my embassy, it's actually the British government and all British embassies across the world. We've been running or co-chairing a thing called a Global Coalition that's seeking to promote media freedom and protect those journalists, particularly those working in less tolerant places around the world, to enable them to do their jobs. And so today in Estonia, for 2 days, there's a sort of meeting of all the countries that are part of this effort. To date, there are 50 different countries that are involved. But actually, the number of journalists who are supportive of this campaign is far, far greater. And I personally was very involved in supporting this campaign when I was British ambassador to South Sudan in my last job, where journalists are doing a really critical role trying to hold the leaders of South Sudan to account for the commitments they made to the people of South Sudan in a peace agreement 4 years ago. And they come under regular attack and frequent arrest and put their lives at risk in order to be able to try and do their jobs and be able to try and support democracy in that country. So you go from everything from a sort of very safe, comfortable environment like this one all the way through to supporting journalists and in an environment like that one.
Yeah, and I think it's hard for us being here in the United States to understand that, what some other journalists go through on a daily basis just to tell the stories. Thank you for bringing that up. I want to switch gears slightly. I know the last time that you were here and on the show, you had just arrived in Rome several months later. How's your job going? What are some of the challenges and what are some of the highlights for you?
Well, the highlight was actually the meeting that we spoke about when we were last online. But over the last couple of months, obviously, I've got to try and I've been able to work my way around the Vatican a bit more. So being able to understand how the different bits of the Vatican operate, how the Vatican engages not just with the Catholic Church worldwide, but also then how it engages as a state with other states worldwide is something that isn't evident, even for me as an experienced ambassador. It's a learning process, and I've been learning a lot over the last couple of months. I have to say, though, my highlight, I guess, for the last month or so was a very personal one, and that was being able to participate in some extraordinarily beautiful services over Christmas and New Year, being able to listen to Pope Francis addressing the crowds, a diminished crowd, both because of COVID, but also the weather was terrible on the 25th of December. And then being able to listen to Pope Francis as he addressed the diplomatic corps on the 10th of January, which was a very powerful occasion where Pope Francis was talking directly to us as ambassadors, but not because of us as ambassadors, but directly, therefore, through us to our governments.
Ambassador, I also want to ask you, before we let you go, are there any other projects that you're working on right now or currently in the works?
So, I mean, there are a couple of things that we're looking to partnership with the Holy See on. We're continuing to think about how we can engage on climate, because obviously that's something through Laudato Si and the Pope's own personal commitment. It's something that is very important to the Vatican. We're also looking at modern slavery. And yesterday, or the day before yesterday, was a day for prayer for modern slavery and human trafficking. And we've been supporting some of the organisations that are seeking to address that as a global issue. And then we're following up also on some activity we've done with the religious sisters, with some religious organisations, particularly in supporting girls' education. We have a partnership that's looking at trying to promote girls' education worldwide, again, particularly in places like South Sudan.
Yeah, big projects, very important projects as well. I know that you're a very, very busy man, so we appreciate you taking the time to speak with us. Christopher Trott, Great Britain Ambassador to the Holy See. Hope to see you again.
Thanks, Tracy. Thank you.